Our Women's Correctional Center is outdated and overcrowded, and it is literally falling apart. So we are constantly struggling with basic maintenance issues. The pipes in that facility are corroded. We have pipes in the showers that the pipes are completely gone. They don't exist anymore. And we are faced constantly with major expenses just to keep the place habitable. The programming space in that facility is non-existent. It's about the size of my desk here, and it's in the middle of a very busy area where people are preparing food and folding clothes, and we expect these women to engage in meaningful programming or therapy or training of some sort, and it's not possible. So it's overcrowded. It's rated for 84 women. Our women's population this morning was about 160. In addition to all the internal issues with that facility being outdated and falling apart, it is located close to the bay. It was never built properly in terms of being raised up from the grade. So whenever there's a high tide and rain, we get flooded out there. So we have lost vehicles. We lost a $200,000 or $300,000 bus because it got flooded out there. It interrupts operations out there. It creates a safety problem. We have to replace that facility for safety, for security, for to avoid being guilty of disparate treatment. We've been called out by the grand jury on a number of occasions for the abysmal conditions of that facility. And we have to, if we want to do what the state has asked us to do, which is improve outcomes when it comes to recidivism and reentry, we can't do it without a new facility.
The Women's Correctional Facility was designed and built in the 1970s. It first opened its doors in 1980. The State of Board rated the facility for 84 inmates. The Correctional Center sits on approximately 2 acres. Also on this property includes the Alternative Sentencing Bureau, the Men's Transitional Facility, the Women's Transitional Facility, and the Work Furlough. Some of the issues that we've had recently has been with flooding. In December we had flooding. We had the king tides come in, and what happened is the entire street is flooded, so it does not allow for anyone to come into the facility. We have been working with the grand jury every year, and they like to come to the facility and tour it and take a look for themselves what goes on, the state of the facility. And a few years ago, after the tour, in their report, they stated that this facility was a disgrace, and they recommended that it be replaced immediately. The facility was rated for 84 inmates per the State of Board and Community of Corrections. For the past several years, we have almost doubled that population.
I guess, and I think it's because of here in the women's facility, it's changing because of the realignment that they have going on. So these women are sitting here in these cells for 2 years. Their stress level has gone up, so you see more assault on each other against the deputies. They have to have a facility that's more organized, is built for long term.
Well, first off, realignment has increased the number of people in our facilities, and surprisingly enough, the women's facility in particular has risen at a far greater speed than the men's facility. Just last week we had 150 women in a facility that was rated for 88. That's not acceptable, but at the same time, in the new facility, if we do have those numbers, we're going to have greater space to program individuals.
WCC is not only overcrowded, but it's pretty run down in the facilities. The air circulation is very poor. I know just in the Choices dorm, it gets very stuffy, overheated, to the point where all the girls are, they're complaining about just being extremely hot, and we're in there 24 hours a day. So I definitely feel that that's a detriment to all of us in there. And it is overcrowded. I have been in another dorm, and every bed is taken up. And we're pretty much all just piled in there. That's how it felt. In the Choices dorm, we have 3 showers. However, the third one, is broken and hasn't been fixed. It's been like that since I came into Choices back in November. We consistently have people coming in and out.
We're seeing a lot more aggressive inmates coming into our custody, ones that have had assaultive history, and therefore their proper place to house them would be in our administrative segregation unit, which we have 9 cells, and we currently have 11 inmates. Well, I can tell you that we generally see our county maintenance worker here just about on a daily basis. There are quite a lot of problems that we come across on basically a daily basis. We'll have issues from a leaky faucet to a shower stall that is overflowing, to a toilet that's not flushing properly, or a toilet that just continuously keeps flushing over and over. So yes, they are in here just about every day, and we experience the same problem within all of the dorms. Sometimes 2 at a time, sometimes all at a time, sometimes just 1 at a time.
So at a women's correctional center, it is unique there in a number of ways. It's very outdated. It's indirect supervision model. It was opened in the mid-'80s. One of the limitations for our female inmates that we realized is they had less adequate programming than the male population did. They have less space for visiting, family visits. They have no family reunification space at the Women's Correctional Center.
Yes, our recreational yard is very small. We have a couple of built-in tables with benches, but because our numbers are so high, we don't have enough room for all the women to sit there, and this is just placing like 1 dorm at a time. So therefore we have to pull out extra plastic chairs. Sometimes they have to bring them from the dormitories outside so they can have an area to sit in. This particular dorm, which is C dorm, is one that anytime it starts to rain, it starts to leak water right over the general entrance area of the dorm. So we always have to make sure we have plenty of towels available, because it could get quite messy over in that area, and of course we don't want any injuries, anyone slipping around and falling, as far as for staff and as well as inmates. Also, another reason why we have maintenance here on a daily basis is the temperature in this building. It is never just normal. It is either too hot or just freezing cold. And they might come today and adjust it, and it may be good for about a day or so. And again, it's the same cycle over and over and over. And it makes it really difficult, especially when it's a holiday weekend or just generally on weekends.
I've been at WCC for 45 days, and I've been here 2 other times, back in 2007 and 2009. And I can tell you the changes have been downgraded. It's been the living arrangements here, the overcrowded, it's horrible. In fact, I'm in Dorm B, which is a workers' dorm here. We have ADSEG inmates there, which is really unsafe for our deputies and for us because of the crowdedness that they have going on here. The women's jail facility showers are horrible. We have mold literally growing out of the ceilings in the showers. The mold is, we're afraid to shower because when the water drips on us, we have mold going onto our bodies. Some of us shouldn't even be here. Some of us women should be put into more of a hospital setting, because some of this women have some, serious mental problems, and they're sitting here with an ADSEG, and these deputies, they're doing the best they can, but their hands are tied, and the numbers are just unsafe, and it's just unsafe here. They have women that are sleeping 3 to a bed. That's not right,